Hello, fellow snappers. So, the latest card from Marvel Snap is called Redwolf, Fractured Frontier. He's a 2/1 on reveal. He gets +1 power for each card in your hand. If you can quick draw him, which means get him out on the turn that he's drawn into your hand, he'll give your hand +1 power as well. This is a fun card. It's interesting. I don't think it's a card you can build a deck around. I think it's just a good card to get in there if you're planning on having a deck that's going to have a full hand the entire time. Which for the deck that I'm going to show you right now is pretty much what I was doing. I wanted to do something again with the Mad Thinker. Now my very first video that I put out that had Marvel Snap gameplay in it was a deck centered around Mad Thinker. And I will put that up here if you want to take a look at it. It's kind of the same deck. I did make some substitutions so I can put it in Redwolf. But the Mad Thinker, he's a 1/2. At the start of each turn, after drawing, he gets +2 power if your hand is full. Now he's going to get a buff according to the leaked OTA. So that's going to be, as of this recording, tomorrow. He's going up to a 1/3. So I kind of wanted to try him out again, and I have some gameplay to show you that can show you what he can do even before his buff. A couple games we get him up to like 8 or 9 power, which is pretty good. The deck that we have is pretty easy to have a full hand at all times because it's going to be a Devil Dino deck. And again, this is kind of a retooling of the deck that I originally showed in my first video. So it's a Devil Dinosaur deck. Originally I had Collector in here. I took him out so I could fit in, I think, Redwolf. I think Redwolf actually in this deck might be a little bit better, or Mad Thinker, just depending. This deck, like I said, is very easy to have a full hand because you're going to have Merlin, who's going to be feeding you a spell every turn. And then most of the cards here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 12 cards in here give you a card or two. Coulson gives you 2, the rest of them give you a card. So, and then we have Mystique in here to copy Devil Dinosaur. And then a good play for turn 6 is Mystique after Devil Dinosaur, and then Agent Coulson. So we'll go over the list here. I'll show you some fun gameplay. I did include a game where someone retreated. I only included that game because it can just kind of, it's one of the games that shows you what Mad Thinker can do. So the 1/2 who can turn into like basically a 1, 8, or 9 is not bad. I think people write this card off, but in the right deck, he can be pretty good. So we'll go over the deck here and then we'll get into some gameplay. So we have a lot of the old familiar faces. We have Quinjet, 1/1. It's ongoing. Your created cards cost 1 less. We went over the Thinker, Agent 13, a 1/3, and I love this variant. On reveal, add a random card to your hand. Now, more than one time, I wound up getting Agatha from Agent 13 in a few of the games I was playing. So you have to be careful of that. You can get something that you don't want, especially if it's Agatha and she starts messing you up. But yeah, so, and then we got Redwolf, who we went over, and then we have Merlin. Again, this variant I really like. It's the ultimate variant, I believe, and so I had to get it. But he's a 2/2. At the start of each turn, add an incantation to your hand. So the ones he has are Universal Presence, which is on reveal. It's basically a location changer, and it gives Merlin +1 power. Once in future, on reveal, shuffle your lowest power card here into your deck to get +2 energy next turn. And then we have Polymorph, which on reveal, transform your lowest power character here into one that costs 1 more. So he has these 3, and he's going to pump one of those into your hand every turn. Then we have Mirage, just a great card, 2/3. On reveal, copy the character that costs the least from your opponent's hand into your hand, give it +2 power. Valentina, everyone knows Valentina, she's a 2/3. On reveal, add a random 6 cost card to your hand, give it -2 cost and -2 power. You'll see Valentina give me a good card in one of the games as well. Then we got Cable. Of course, everyone knows him. 2/4. On reveal, draw a card from your opponent's deck. One game, someone had a Thanos Fractured Frontier list, and Cable stole their Thanos. So I snapped, and I guess they never got the clue. They stayed in and lost. And then we have Mystique, who's a 3/1. On reveal, if the last card you played has an ongoing, copy its text if you're able to. Now she's of course only in here to copy Devil Dinosaur. If you're really in a pinch and you want to do Quinjet, you can, but it's kind of a waste. Just depending on what's going on. Then we have Agent Coulson, the son of Cole himself. 3/5. On reveal, add a random 4-cost and 5-cost card to your hand. Then we put in Shang. Haven't run Shang in a while. He's a 4/3. Of course, destroys an enemy card here that has 10 or more power. Shang is always useful, especially when you see those decks where they go real tall. And then last but not least is the Devil Dinosaur. Ongoing, +2 power for each card in your hand. Devil Dinosaur usually winds up being a 16 or an 18 because we're going to have a full hand. And like I said, if you do him on 5 and Mystique on 6, you can get some good power there. So that's the deck. And like I said, we'll get into some gameplay. You'll see what Mad Thinker can do, and you'll see Redwolf actually do pretty good as well. I think Redwolf would be good in a bounce deck because you could put him out, then bounce him, and then the very next turn put him out again, and he would do his quick draw. You know, give your hand +1 power. So I'm going to try a bounce list maybe with him at some point, but I think he'd be good in bounce. Mad Thinker is, like I said, this is the pre-nerf, or the pre-buff Mad Thinker. So we'll see how he does after the buff. I'm sure he'll do even better than you'll see in these games. But that's the list, and as always, thank you for watching. If you try the list out, let me know what you think about it. Like and subscribe, and as always, happy snapping.